So I went out today and I bought some seafoam. I was looking to do some maintenance on my E46. I was curious to see how well this does. So I've done a lot of research about this stuff online, and from what I've seen, it's just a bunch of mixed reviews. I saw one really good video by a guy named Project Farm. He did it on his old higher mileage Ford truck. Did really good for the motor. Moved ticking, better low end torque, better throttle response, and overall was just really good for the engine. But then I see other reviews online, other YouTube videos, go on Reddit, reviews. A lot of them say that it puts damage to your motor. It could blow the valve cover gasket, damage your O2 sensors, damage your catalytic converters. And then there's also other people who say it doesn't do anything at all. It's just completely useless. So I'm just going to put this stuff to the test. I'm really curious. I do have a higher mileage BMW, so I want to see how this goes for the car and see if there's any difference to the car after I'm done. So I got both versions of the seafoam. So this is the version that you spray into your intake as the car's idling. And then this is the one you're supposed to split every 1/3, one into the gas, one into the oil, and then one into one of the vacuum lines of the car. But since I'm doing this, I won't need to do that. So I'm just going to split 50-50. Half of it into the gas and half of it into the oil. Alright, so without further ado, let's put the first half of the seafoam into the gas. So it's actually going to be quite difficult to pour the seafoam into the gas tank without spilling any. So I'm going to be using one of the nozzles out of these jerry cans. This should help out. So after you have your things ready, just go ahead and open up the gas cap. Take the cap off. And that little metal flap in there is actually what prevents you from sticking anything other than a gas nozzle in there. And this is what helps prevent that. So you stick that in, should sit flush, and you're ready to pour some seafoam in. After you open up your seafoam, you want to pour about half the can into your gas tank. So you just want to pour it in like this. Try not to spill any anywhere. And then you want to go until you're halfway done the can. It is fairly hard to tell because there's nowhere on the can to actually say how much you've used, but let's go by feeling. Alright, that's about half. Now, you want to put the cap back onto your seafoam. Pull the funnel out. Try not to spill any onto your car. And then close the gas cap. So now, what you want to do is pour the rest into the oil. So of course open your door. Open the hood to the engine. Right here. And then you want to pour the rest into here. And I know what you guys are thinking. It feels extremely weird putting liquid into your oil, but it's okay. Nothing will happen. That's how you're supposed to do it. Just a quick note, before you pour the seafoam into your engine, you want to make sure the engine's nice and warm. So you want to take it for a drive, go on the highway, wherever you want to go, bring it back. You just have to make sure the engine's at operating temperature before you pour the seafoam in. So what you want to do is open the oil cap, take it off, place it somewhere where it won't fall over. And now you want to take the nozzle, stick it in the oil. This is the optional step, but I'm just making sure I don't spill any. And then open the cap to the seafoam, just like that. Then you want to slowly pour the seafoam into the oil. Just try to make sure you don't spill any. Just like that. Oh, getting a couple drops. Just like that. Done that part, you just want to take the nozzle out. Make sure you don't spill any more. Place it somewhere nice. Put the cap back on. And you're good to use the second can now. You want to get your second can, shake it up real nice. And then you want to find a spot where you're going to spray it in. So you just want to make sure that it's behind the MAF sensor. So for my car, the MAF sensor is right here. If you have an E46, it'll be in the same spot. I do have an aftermarket intake, but yours is still going to be in the same spot. And I'm going to pour mine into this vacuum line. So this vacuum line comes out fairly easily. All you have to do is pull up at it, like that, and it comes out. Once the vacuum line's out, you want to take this red little hose that comes with the can, and then just stick it in like that, and just make sure the end of it is pointing towards the manifold. So this way. So just like that. And then you're going to be sticking this end to the can. So now that you have an idea of what you're going to do, you want to turn on the car. So you have to go towards the car. Turn it on. So the car might run a bit weird just because it's missing a vacuum line, so it might idle, but then I'll start evening it out. So now you're going to need someone to sit inside the car and hold the revs anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 RPMs as you go outside and spray the seafoam into the engine. So I don't have a second person on me right now, so I have to improvise. I found this Lysol can, and basically my idea is I was going to jam it up against the throttle and see if I can get the car to idle around 1,500 RPMs. So it actually worked out. As you can see, it's holding the revs at basically 1,500 RPM. So I'm going to go outside now and start seafoaming. So I have the can ready. I'm going to start slowly spraying it into the intake. So you want to make sure as you're doing it, you go in short little bursts like this. And just keep going until the can fully runs out. Should take a couple minutes. So after the whole can's done, you'll feel it. The whole can should be done. Just place it like that and go turn off your car. So after the engine is off, I'm going to go back to the front of the car and just put this vacuum hose back in. Just like that. So after you have the vacuum line back in, you let the car sit in heat soak for around 15 minutes, and then you turn the car back on. Right? So it's been 15 minutes. Let's start her up. So it is going to run super weird. It might even stall out a couple times. You just have to gas through it. You can even try turning it on and off a couple times. So you just have to rev the car out until all that smoke clears up. But yeah, you just have to keep revving the car, take it for a drive until all the smoke clears out, and then you're good to go. Okay, so I'm here out in Mexico, and you do have to rev out the engine to clear out all the seafoam. So it's been a couple days after I seafoamed the car and did the oil change. And in terms of differences, the biggest thing I noticed is that the car idles a lot better, especially in the cold startups. So before this car would idle a bit weird, the idle would bounce around, the engine would shake a bit, but now that's completely eliminated. I don't feel it anymore. And I do know that's a pretty common issue on these older E46s, especially when you get into the higher mileage. Some other things I noticed is that the low end torque does feel the slightest bit more punchy. Nothing crazy, nothing significant. As well as the throttle response, this feels slightly more responsive, but again, nothing significant. The high-end power feels the same, the fuel economy is the same. Overall, the car feels roughly how it was. It's just for me personally, the idle was fixed, and that was a big plus for me. Overall, I do feel like there were positive results from the seafoam. If you have a higher mileage car that you feel like is acting a bit sluggish or isn't performing like how it used to, give it a shot, see what happens. Shouldn't really harm anything on the motor, so I wouldn't be worried. And yeah. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm always happy to answer. Overall, positive results. I'm happy with it. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.